one of my groupings that it should be no surprise at all, and that is most of the cast of Friday Night Lights. Having lived in Austin before, obviously it's not a surprise that I've crossed paths with a lot of these. I was sitting here thinking, like, who all have I even seen? So, going with some of the bigger characters, I have met Kyle Chandler a couple times. He's a very serious dude, which makes me laugh. On the Emmys recently, there was like a joke made to him, and when they went to him, he like had a really serious face, and then he cracked. And I just thought it was funny because that serious face is like the only one I've ever seen. He just, and this was like at promotional outings, like this awards show, this Texas Film Awards. But he's just super serious dude, and it always cracks me up when I actually see him laugh because I'm like, oh my gosh, you do have a personality. And then of course I've seen Connie a couple times. I interviewed her on a red carpet before. She's pleasant as can be. Ran into her at a Austin City Limits music festival party with Adrian Padalecki, actually, and had no idea who Adrian was because I didn't watch the show at that time. I only knew Connie because of her beautiful hair. But it was amusing because everyone at the party was talking about how they were hanging out because they're supposed to be like 20 years apart on the show. And in real life, they're probably like 10, but it doesn't even matter when you're like an adult actor. Yeah. Like everybody hangs out together. So she was super cool. And then, I mean, really, I've met so many of them because of like not only shooting in Austin, but then ATX Television Festival brings certain people back every year. So I've met Scott Porter a couple times and chatted with him and his now wife. And Jesse Plemons played one of the parties for ATX Fest. Michael B. Jordan missed the red carpet one year, but showed up for the panel, luckily. But it was hilarious because on the red carpet, Matt Lauria was just talking to him on the phone while they were doing interviews on the red carpet. So that was pretty funny. And speaking of Matt Lauria, so I had met him on the street in Austin during the festival, just kind of joking because he and his wife were coming out of, we had seen each other at the hotel. He and his wife were coming out of the Starbucks as I was walking in, and I hadn't even met them, and it just joked with them, like, why didn't you guys tell me you were going to Starbucks? You totally could have gotten my Starbucks. And they were so nice. They were like, we totally would have gotten you Starbucks. And then like a month later, I ran into them at a movie premiere in LA, ended up like chatting with them, taking pictures, like tweeting. I've tweeted his wife before about her albums, and she answers me. And she and I ran into each other at a South by Southwest party later. So it was just like such a small world, like seeing them in LA, seeing them in Austin multiple times. So they're super cool. And then I met Minka Kelly in LA at a Fox event when she was promoting the last Fox series she was on. And now I forget the name of it, with the robot. It was like robots. They were like cops, and they had robots with them. It didn't last, obviously. But anyway, she was nice as can be. I actually had to wait on her because she was chatting with Mindy Kaling, who is also super, super nice. It was just hard to get even in, like, between the two of them because Mindy is so friendly and Minka is so friendly, and I didn't want to interrupt them. So I was just, like, waiting and waiting and waiting so that I could get a picture with Minka just because I love FNL. So that's my Friday Night Lights experience.
I have
a little bit of it.
I love it. You know how much I love Connie Britton, and I feel like in my head, I just kind of put her in the same category. Like, she seems like she would be just like Sheryl Crow in real life. Just very approachable, kind of that, like, colloquial charm. Maybe it's the hair, maybe it's the way she's super friendly to everybody, but in my head it's like interviewing the same person. Also,
I think she was like that, but I think she's so beautiful that it actually, I feel like, puts people off from approaching her.
Oh, I would imagine.
Like, literally on the red carpet, she was wearing like a red dress and the red carpet, and I feel like the background that year was maybe blue, and her hair was so beautiful, and she was like tan and freckled, and I was literally like, that is one of the most beautiful people I've ever seen.
I would fully believe
in a very like down to earth girl next door way, not in like a Angelina Jolie like supermodel weird cheekbone big eye thing.
It's hilarious. You said Matt Lauria, and I have to tell you, it took at least 2 rounds of you saying the name, and I was like, oh, she's talking about Kevin Arnold's dad. He was in Friday Night Lights, and then like midway through, I was like, that's Dan Lauria. No, that's not it at all.
Actually, Matt Lauria actually runs in the same circles as our friend Guy, Justin Smith. They know each other. So.
We love you, Justin.
There you go.
But fantastic. I love that story.
We do love you, Guy.